So you might be in the market for a brand new iPad or maybe a used iPad, and you might be trying to figure out exactly which type of size you want to go for. Do you want to go for the 11-inch model, or do you want to go for the 12.9-inch, almost 13-inch iPad Pros? Now, the thing I would definitely tell you about these particular iPads is that there's not really one that's, suits everybody. I will tell you, if you have all the money in the world and if you can swing for a bigger iPad that you will actually end up using, it might make a little bit more sense to go ahead and actually just purchase one of those types of iPads, the bigger models, because they do end up giving you bigger size batteries and they do end up giving you better displays sometimes. But if you're talking about best budget for dollar or best, use case in general, maybe the 11-inch models might be better for you. The first thing I'll start off with by saying is that the portability of the 11-inch iPad is significantly better than the portability of that 12.9-inch iPad. So this is one of those things that I like a lot about those, 11-inch iPads, is that they are just so much more portable. That 12.9-inch iPad is almost as big as a MacBook, like the standard 13-inch MacBooks. So with that being said, if you like or if you don't mind carrying that big of a size thing with you, then by all means pick up one of those types of iPads. But the thing you have to remember with that 11-inch iPad is that it is much more portable and about 95 to 99% of the features overlap. So if you're getting an iPad Pro, whether you get the 11-inch or the 12.9-inch model, you're basically getting the same type of features between both of them, which is very, very nice. There are some differences here and there, but as of right now, they're very much more similar than not. So the portability aspect is definitely one of my most favorite things going on for that particular iPad. Also, I like the fact that both those iPads are pretty thin, but I do love the fact that that 11-inch iPad, like I said, is just so much more portable, and it still supports all the Apple Pencils. The accessories are much, I would say much more easier to kind of use for me personally. But again, that 12.9-inch is still perfectly fine for a lot of people. The only difference you're basically getting from the 12.9-inch iPad from the 11-inch model is that you're getting a better display sometimes. So if you're getting the current iPad Pros, you are getting a better display on that 12.9-inch model, but the 11-inch model is still going to be perfectly fine. From your eyesight, you're probably not going to tell that big of a difference from the 11-inch model to the 12.9-inch model, and I do think that's one of the bigger things to keep in mind here, because unless you're comparing these side by side every single day, you're probably not going to notice that big of a difference between these two types of displays. So that's one thing. The other thing too is that with something like the 11-inch iPad and the 12.9-inch iPad, you're getting a bigger size battery most of the time inside of that 12.9-inch iPad as well. So this could be one of the advantages and or one of the reasons why I would probably recommend buying the 12.9-inch iPad for some people. So it might make a little bit more sense to go ahead and buy that particular iPad over the 11-inch iPad just because of the bigger size battery, if that's important to you. For a lot of people, it might not even be important, and it might not even be something you even have to kind of think about. But as I mentioned, that might be one other thing to kind of think about in the back of your head. Beyond that though, it is essentially almost the same type of device. Do you like the size of the 12.9-inch iPad? You might be okay. But again, another thing to keep in mind is that 12.9-inch iPad is more expensive. That also means it's probably going to be more expensive in the used market as well. So if you're trying to go and buy an iPad, keep in mind that the 12.9-inch iPad might also be a little bit more expensive in the brand new market than in the used market. And because more people, I would imagine, are buying those 11-inch iPads, probably more frequently, you might be noticing that that 11-inch iPad is probably going to be, available, I would say, in the used market, probably for cheaper than the 12.9-inch iPad as well. So overall, what I will definitely tell you is with these particular iPads, I do think that for the most part, Apple did a really good job making these two types of devices a little bit different. I don't know if there's one that I'd recommend way more than the other one, but I would probably tell you that the 11-inch iPad is probably more better, or just better in general for the average person, than the 12.9-inch iPad when it comes down to it. So in terms of that kind of covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that will mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.